What is up, everyone? Wacky here, welcome you back for another video of um I just wanted to talk a lot about the new Legends Arceus mons and what I think they're gonna bring to the draft format. The reason why I'm on Showdown is just because like when you're hovering over a video and it might start playing, I didn't wanna get into the doc just yet, so there will be spoilers in this video. I'll probably be talking about obviously, the new mons, like how well I think they'll be in the format with their new typing and their stats. New moves I'll probably cover and their abilities. Um, I won't get into the moves too much because I don't think they really change too much, but some of the moves are really good. Um, so yeah, starting now, this is your chance to get off the video if you don't want to get spoiled. Um, and I'm going to get into it now. Google Sheets, data comparative. I believe this is the correct doc. Yeah, this has like everything. Okay, so I guess starting off, I wanted to talk about Growlithe. Well, more Growlithe than like more Arcanine than Growlithe, but honestly, my opinion on these mons, like I like a lot of them. I don't like some of them. But this isn't really an opinion video on like the designs as much as an opinion on like where I think they'll be in the draft format, like how many points they'll be, what I think they should be doing in draft format. So yeah. So Growlithe, I mean, it's not bulky enough to run like a Violet. It's not fast enough to really do anything. So I wouldn't really say Growlithe is really worth it. Maybe in like Little Cup, Hisuian Growlithe might be fine. It kept Intimidate, Flash Fire, Justified, so no Rock Head, so no Flare Blitz, Head Smash spam, but like I feel like that would have been a little bit overwhelming, but looking at some of the other new mons, it's definitely not as overwhelming as like other things we'll see. But the new Arcanine, so it gains 5 HP and 5 attack, in exchange for 5 speed and 5 special attacks. So it's actually a little bit bulkier and it hits a little bit harder on the physical side, which is honestly not too bad. It's a little less likely to run mixed because it's going to opt to just run physical. In my experience using Arcanine, I liked using special with like Flamethrower. It was more just like special coverage with like Flamethrower. I'd run like mixed Flamethrower, Extreme Speed, Morning Sun, Teleport, or whatever. I don't think Hisuian Arcanine will have Teleport because a lot of moves got cut. Teleport wasn't cut, but um, I wouldn't really, I wouldn't be surprised if it doesn't have Teleport, which for Hisuian Arcanine I don't think matters that much because it has so many weaknesses. Like you really don't want to take damage, especially if you're spamming like Head Smashers, Flare Blitz, both of which are in the game. I don't know if Morning Sun is in the game or not. I can check. Actually, I don't know if it shows. I don't know if it shows the moves on this doc, and I really don't want to go to the move doc to discuss that. So yeah. Oops. So I don't know why that's appearing on my screen. So why is it like I don't care. Okay. So Arcanine, I think it'll be like maybe 10 points. I think regular Arcanine's around like 13 to 11. I personally like seeing it at like 12 or 13, but to each their own. It has a lot of utility, being a good defensive fire type that can also hit hard. It's really fast. It does a lot of things really well with extreme speed and flare blitz, and it can recover with Morning Sun. I don't think it has Earthquake, but I would assume the Hisuian Arcanine might get Earthquake if we get into like home leaks. I imagine to play draft format with the new mons, we're probably gonna have to play on like some sort of home leak where it shows like their moves, because Legends Arceus has cut so many moves that all of the new mons really suffer. There's no Scald, there's no Earthquake, there's no Knockoff. Those are some really big ones, and they cut a lot of moves in general. Like there's only like 180 moves, as opposed to like almost the like 900 we have currently. So that's a little bit unfortunate, but yeah. I expect Hisuian Arcanine to be around like 10, 9 points maybe. It'll be really good at spamming Flare Blitz and like close combat and head smash or like whatever rock move it will have. Actually, I don't remember. Does Arcanine have a new move? It might be his Raging Fury move. The user rampages, spews vicious flames, then becomes fixated on this move. So it's like an outrage. They did actually nerf some of the moves, so that they're not strong in the strong style, I would assume. So it's gonna be 90 base power, 85% accurate. I wouldn't really expect it to be that much better than Flare Blitz. Like Raging Fury doesn't do recoil, but like they might buff it going into like Gen 9. Honestly, I do think we're gonna have to wait till like Gen 9 to use some of these mons in like draft format or Wi-Fi. I hope not, because some of these mons are cool. But sadly, I think that's just the truth. So I think that's Hisuian Arcanine. Let's see, I need to speed up this video. I don't know how long this will be, honestly. It might be a while. Hisuian Electrode, I don't really have too much to say. It has Rotomo's typing. It's not very strong. It's not very bulky. I guess it's fast enough to run like modest specs, because I think with modest you're still outspeeding things like Tapu Koko and like maybe Mega Lopunny. I'm not entirely sure on that. But you're really fast. You can definitely afford to run some bulk and special attack with like specs or like whatever you want to run. It's going to be really good at hitting ground types, because the problem with Electrode before is that any ground type will just switch in onto it and Electrode just kind of does nothing. Hisuian Electrode, I don't think we'll see too much use regardless. Like, Electric Grass is really good, but I feel like as an electric, like Rotomo, the thing with Rotomo is it's still levitating, so it's an electric type that's still immune to ground. So it doesn't really lose anything from being an electric type, but Electrode does. That it's a grass type that doesn't resist ground, when grass is usually that typing that wants to be like a good bulky ground resist. Like there's still bugs, but like the only good bugs that resist ground I can think of are like Buzzwole, Heracross, and Araquanid, and I just don't think that's the way. But like Hisuian Electrode might be good in like low tier. I would imagine this thing will be like 3 points, maybe 4. I guess it depends on its moves. Moving on, Hisuian Quillfish and Overkill. So I actually kind of want to talk about Overkill first, because I think Quillfish is a little bit better. So Overkill I think will be more of the option if you want to run a Rain team. I don't think we have like a Rain Sweeper. I think the closest thing to a poison type we have on Rain teams is like Dry Skin Toxicroak. And Toxicroak really isn't that good. I think it's the same speed as Overkill. Just looking at Overkill's bulk, I was actually doing some calcs with it last night, and I figured out that it's just a little tiny bit less tanky than Drapion. But the thing with Drapion is that it's only a little bit faster, but it does not hit as hard. So when you look at its attack stat, I think Drapion's like 90, and Overkill's like, Overkill's 115. So, opposed to Drapion, I think Overkill's a little bit better. It just depends on the moves. Like, I don't see Overkill having knockoff. Pursuit's not in the game anymore, so you can't really use like legacy moves with Pursuit, I would assume. But like overall, it might be better at like setting toxic spikes and regular spikes depending if it gets those. So I think with that, it's gonna be around like the same point range as Drapion, like the 8 or 9, maybe 10 because of Swift Swim. I do think it's gonna be a good Swift Swim user. Like compare it to like, I really don't want to compare it to Kabutops, but like it's gonna be faster than Kabutops. It has a higher attack set than Kabutops, but the thing with Kabutops is that it gets a rain boost to its attack, so like its attack really isn't. I think Kabutops is 105. I should know. I literally drafted Kabutops like not that long ago, and dropped it, but you know, um, I still think Overkill is gonna be cool. I'm really excited to use Overkill. Quillfish though is I think going to be better, not by too much, but maybe like 10, 9 or 10, because well, it's still Swift Swimmer, but like if you're drafting a rain team, I would rather take Overquill. But Quillfish with like a Violite will be very good. It's gonna be very tanky. I believe Pokegame did some calcs where like it lives like 2 earthquakes from like Scarf Landorus or something like that. So I think that's pretty cool. And it's not really lacking in offense either. I don't know if it'll keep Scald, but like you don't really use Scald because it's like your attacking move. You're using it to get the burn, plus the Intimidate. Like both these get Intimidate and Poison Point and Swift Swim. They're all really good abilities. You'll probably be using Intimidate on both of them more often, because I don't really see Rain being like too much of a thing with Overquill. I would probably draft Overquill on the Rain team, but just like the overall bulk, it still has the same speed. It'll probably have spikes and T-spikes. I'm pretty sure Quillfish gets both. Quill spikes. It does get both. So I can actually see it getting both. It'll have this new move called Barb Barrage, which looking at it, I believe it's it's like a physical hex that has the ability to also poison you. So it boosts it's like a move that boosts itself eventually if you can get the poison. It's a physical hex, which is really cool actually. So I think it'll be very good. Also, these shinies are like really nice. Just look at all this. I mean, this looks like a steel type, but like, yeah. But like, these look really good. Yeah, we'll get into these later. I think that's really all I have to say about Quillfish and Overquill. Next I want to talk about Sneasel and Sneezler. I think Sneasel will be pretty good. It's the same stats as regular Sneasel, with the poison fighting typing, which I think is a little bit better because knockoff isn't in the game. But you get close combat and like poison jab out of it, which I think is really nice. It's also better defensive typing. Like I think it's weak to ground, flying, and psychic, which isn't that great, but it's better than being weak to like fire, fighting, fairy. It'll be very good at killing fairy and steel cores. I think poison fighting is really good. I've actually really wanted to use a poison fighting for a while that had like the speed of Sneasel and Sneasler, and there really wasn't a good fighting type because the only option was like Hawlucha or like Terrakion. But like having these, I really like having the option to use these now. Both of them will be very good. They're both very fast. A Violite Sneasel will be like decently bulky. And in general, Sneasler is also a little bit bulkier than Weavile, just losing out on speed, but it gets a lot more attack too, which I think will be very good with Poison Touch. Inner Focus and Keen Eye I don't really I don't really see those being too much of a thing. I also assume this also has like another ability. I don't know what it is. It's probably still inner focus. Um, Sneasel, I would say, is going to be like 7 points. Sneasler, I can honestly see Sneasler at like 16 or 15. At least early on, people will know how to deal with Sneasler as well. So next up, we got another fighting type. Actually, we have a lot of fighting types in this region. We got Liligan, who's very, very different than um, regular Liligan. So it adds on the fighting typing with Hustle and Chlorophyll. So, like, if you're running a Sun team, you don't really have to run Speed because you're just going to outspeed everything. With Hustle, comparing it to Flapple, I believe Flapple's 115 attack, but it's also slower and it can't touch Steel types. Liligan can touch Steel types. What it struggles with the most is going to be like Fire Flames, which, like, my favorite grass fighting type, Chestnut, struggles a little bit with Fire Flames, but it gets Stone Edge. I don't see Liligan getting a rock move. So it's gonna struggle a little bit, but I can see it getting U-turn in like the leaks. I think U-turn does not exist anymore. And also, just looking at the next Pokemon, I also want to say like most of the Gen 8 move tutor moves, except for I think Steel Beam, is not in the game. So I'm not going to be accounting for things that are not in the game until like home leaks are out. Um, but the new Liligan is definitely really good. I was actually doing some calcs with it, and with Hustle, it's a very strong still with like Choice Band. It's gonna hit very, very hard. It might actually be like a good RU Pokemon, maybe like 9, 11 to 9 points. I can honestly see it. Um, but like with Hustle, because Hustle has that chance to miss. I don't know. Lilligant's like unknown to me. I don't know where it's gonna be in draft. Probably anywhere between like 7 and like 10, 11 maybe. Um, that's where I see it. Next up, we got, I guess, quickly Basculin. It's the same as regular Basculin. It's not actually like Hisuian. It's just a white stripe with the same abilities, I believe. Um, so it's going to be very good, and you can use a Violet with it, so it makes it bulkier. Although, I do think regular Basculin wants to run like that Choice Band regardless, or like the Life Orb or whatever, so it can flip turn out and stuff. I don't think flip turn is in this game, so I don't really see White Stripe being used too much because overall it's going to be a little bit worse than regular Basculin without flip turn. But I still respect it as like a very low tier, like 1 or 2 point pick. Moving on to Basculegion, which is one I think I have a really different opinion on compared to other people. I really like this thing with adaptability. Bolt Breaker will be pretty okay, and even Rattle will be decent because I think Rattle gives you that speed boost if you're hit by like a bug move. A bug. What is it, like Bug Dark or Psychic? You're probably going to want to get hit by a bug move like U-turn. If you can predict the U-turn and get the Rattle boost, you'll be fast. But the thing that you lose is adaptability, because these stats really aren't that great without adaptability. Like, its stabs are strong. I think it gets a new move called Wave Crash. I also assume Chloroblast is Logan's move, but that's not confirmed yet. Let's go down. Where is it? Oh, yeah, Wave Crash. So it's base 75 power, 100 accuracy. It increases your action speed and also does recoil, which is how you're going to evolve Basculin, because I think you have to take like 300 hit points of recoil. So yeah, it's just something I want to mention. I don't really see this move getting used too much because I think you're probably gonna have like a waterfall or like any other water move that's better than this without the recoil. I mean, the speed might be nice. It says action speed. It's not like the way speed works is a little bit different. And I don't want to say it's going to give you like a rapid spin speed boost kind of thing, because I don't think it is, but this is just something I want to mention. So male Basculin has 112 attack, 120 HP, 78 speed, pretty lackluster defenses and special attack, but like comparing it to Vaporeon, I believe Vaporeon's like 130, 65, 95. So it's like a little bit specially bulkier than like Vaporeon is physically. So it's going to be able to take a hit regardless. And I think it'll be very good at dishing out a hit back with like Choice Banded. God, there's not going to be good physical move with it. It might get Shadow Sneak. Poltergeist isn't in the game, so I don't really want to say it's gonna have like banded Poltergeist because I don't see it being in the game. Which is why I think female is better, because female in draft, like, it gives you the feeling that you might be mixed, or you could do another mix up and just run physical. So like it's a little bit harder to read female, I think. It's gonna have better moves. Like I imagine this thing will have Hydro Pump. Does Basculin have Hydro Pump? Basculin. It does have Hydro Pump. I think most waters have Hydro Pump. Oops. So like Hydro Pump Shadow Ball with adaptability will be a very strong. A mon I've been comparing Basculegion to is actually Dragalge. So Dragalge is very specially bulky and it has a very similar special attack stat of 97. But the problem with Dragalge is that it does not touch steel types. It's very slow. It does have flip turn. I do not know if Basculin will have flip turn if it gets in like home leaks, because regular Basculin does. I don't know about Basculegion and like the white stripe. I don't really see it getting flip turn for a while. I still think it's very good though. Both of them might be around like 12 points. I think in a way they're better than Crawdaunt. They're a lot faster, they're a lot bulkier. They do not hit as hard, but I do think Ghosts is a very spammable move, or a very like spammable type. So like Hydro Pump Shadow Ball with the females can be very good. With the male, I mean, Waterfall, it might get Poltergeist. If it gets Poltergeist, male will definitely be better. But I think for the time being, female is a lot safer. That's just my opinion. I know not a lot of people agree with me, but I do think females can be a lot better. I also think it has a better design. I like that blue a lot. That's Basculegion. I think it's going to be around 12 points, maybe 13. It's very comparable to something like the Nidos. But the thing with the Nidos is that Nidoqueen is just bulkier, and it hits harder because it runs modest and not timid. But yeah, next up we got Zoroark. I really love the design of this, and I actually predicted it to be a little bit more frail, but man, they buffed this thing. Like normal Ghost has 3 immunities, has Illusion still. Abilities aren't in the game, but they were like data mined, so that's just what we're going off of. It's a little bit stronger, a little bit faster. I think overall this is a buff. If it keeps something like Nasty Plot is still in the game. Nasty Plot with like Hyper Voice and Shadow Ball will be very good. That's really all I have to say about Zoroark. I think it'll be very good if you can. It's going to be a lot easier to use because it's going to be easier to disguise as something weak to like Ghost or Dark. Which I guess is kind of strange because that's really just other Darks. Maybe it's Psychic type. This might pair well with like Uniclus, and I see it being like 13 points. Regular Zoroark is like 9. I can see this being 13. Better typing, better stats, a lot faster, a lot stronger. That's really all I have to say about it. Pair it with like a bulky psychic like Uniclus, because they'll go into their dark or their um, if they go into their ghost, that would be very good. And I would assume in the home weeks they'll probably have like U-turns still. I mean, this will probably have like flip turn in the weeks if for home, like whenever that happens. I don't know when that'll happen or not. Braviary is very weird. I think it's worse, but not by too much because it's a special attacker now. It's the way that they change the defenses with their HP is weird to me because it's basically the same. It's a little bit easier to run a little bit like mixed on Braviary, but I imagine like Sheer Force, Psychic, Hurricane, Heat Wave will be very good. Yeah, it's really weird. It's really slow. So like maybe if you can get like a slow U-turn off, that'll be very cool. It's definitely bulky enough to take a hit, but like its typing is strange. Like we have it on Sigilith and Galarian Articuno and Zaptu. Those mons are fast. Like they're all based like 95, 97-ish. This thing is slow. I can see this being maybe like 7 points. Maybe 6, because I think Sigilith is better. Sheer Force with Life Orb will be very good. But Sigilith also has like Tinted Lens and Magic Guard with a really good move pool. I do not really see Braviary having a good move pool. And that's Braviary. I don't think Heat Wave is in the game either. But maybe it'll be okay. Stantler, Weird Ear. These mons are also really strange. So Weird Ear slows down, but it gains bulk. It gains attack and special attack. Like it's gonna be a mixed attacker, but honestly, I'd rather have had it gain like 30 in special attack rather than 10 in attack and 20 in special attack. Like I'd rather see like 95, 115. Then this thing would be like decent. It's decently bulky, but it also has like a weird typing that, like I think it's only weak to dark, right? It's neutral to fighting, which is good for a normal type. It keeps intimidate, so I guess it'll be like decently like physically bulky. But in a way, I feel like a Violate Stantler will be better. Because pure normal type is a little less weird. It still has like Hypnosis, it's a lot faster. With a Violate, it'll be very, very tanky. But Weird Ear will be a decent pick, maybe like 2 points, 2, 3. Did I mention? Oh yeah, I said like 6 or 7 for this. Yeah, I don't really have too much to say about Weird Ear. Avalugg is worse. It does have Strong Jaw. It's a little bit faster, but it loses Special Bulk, which I really don't like. I would have rather had it slower, honestly, because I think Avalugg would have been very good in Trick Room with the Strong Jaw Ice Rock typing. Ice Rock is very hard to switch into. Steels will switch in, but I think this thing will have Earthquake. If that gets in, it might get high horsepower. I don't know if it has it currently. But I can see it learning high horsepower. It'll have pretty strong Ice Fangs, I think like base 97. It gets a new move, Mountain Gale, but I think it's a little bit worse than Ice Fang for this. It has like Crunch. It might get Thunder Fang or Psychic Fangs. I think it'll be okay in Trick Room. And it's a little bit stronger too with the attack stat. But I don't really see it being that good. Current Avalugg is like 4 or 5 points. This thing will probably be like 4 or 5 as well. Sliggoo and Goodra. Oh, they actually rebuff Sliggoo's stats too. So they nerf both of their speeds by 20. A Violet Sliggoo will be very, very bulky. Like, a Violet Sliggoo right now is very bulky on a special side, but now with the added 30 on the defense is going to be very good. Sadly its move pool, current Sliggoo's move pool is not good. It's going to be worse in this game, but I did see Hisuian Goodra have like Iron Head and Hydro Pump and Thunderbolt like when it evolved. So I imagine Hisuian Sliggoo will be actually pretty good if it has like moves like that. It has a new move, Shelter, which like raises your evasiveness, so that'll be banned. But I imagine it'll still have like Iron Defense regardless. Dragon Steel typing is very good. I think it'll be very good. Hisuian Goodra will be like 13, probably. Regular Goodra right now is like 10, 11. But like, you added 30 defense with a better defensive typing. It's not going to be good as your Steel type. But I think it'll be good as your Dragon, as long as you get like the secondary Steel with it. 80, 100, 150 is really hard to kill. Along with Sap Sipper, Overcoat, Gooey, I think it'll be very good. And I think Sliggoo will be very good too. Like, Sliggoo might be around like Tangela level on like the points. Maybe like 3 or 4, maybe 5, depending on its move pool. It really just depends on move pool. Goodra probably like 13. I really like Goodra. I think it's cute. It can like hide in its little shell. I can't wait to use it. Cleaver. Oh god, Cleaver. I don't know what to think about this mod. It's a lot faster. Its defensive typing is a little bit worse than Scissor, but it's stronger, faster. It doesn't lose that much bulk. It has sheer force. I think it's gonna be very good. But the rock typing doesn't do it for me. I can see this thing being like 12. I know for a fact it gets like Stealth Rock, so that'd be very good. Because Scissor is a Steel type, doesn't get Stealth Rock, and that's one thing I really don't like about Scissor. But Cleavor, I think this thing will be like 12, maybe 13. I think it can test with Scissor very well. It's just that rock typing, but like Bug Rock is okay offensively, it's just defensively is very not good. Bug and Rock don't mesh together very well. But yeah. I'm just trying to speed up here a little bit. Ursula Ring and Ursula. Ursula Ring with a Violet looks very decent. It'll be very bulky. It'll have guts. You'd have to obviously pre-burn it or like bait something to burn it or something. But I think overall Ursulana's can be very good. This will be a little bit slower, but in like Trick Room, I can see like these stats. Look at the bulk, the 130, 105, 80. This is good bulk. It's better than like Conkeldurr. Its attack stat is a little bit weaker than Conkeldurr, but I think its typing is better. Normal ground is very tough because normal can't hit steel and rock. Ground does. The only thing it's not going to touch is like Bronzong and Corviknight, Celesteela, and Skarmory. So I think this thing is very good. Maybe like 14 points. I think it's better than Diggersby. And it has bulletproof too, so it might be a decent Gengar switch in. As long as it doesn't have Giga Drain. So I think that'll be very interesting to use. Typhlosion, Fire Ghost. It's a little bit slower, but again, more special attack. So I think overall it's a buff with the Ghost typing if it has like Shadow Ball. Flash Fire will be very good for it. It's very similar to Chandelure. I think it'll be around the same points as Chandelure too, maybe a little bit less. So like 9 or 10. It can run mix too, but I think you're rather gonna run special. That 119 is gonna be very good. I think Typhlosion will be very good. It has enough bulk to take a hit. It's very strong with like specs. Might be a decent Scarf or two. Fire Ghost is very hard to switch in on. Overall, I think this is a good buff to Typhlosion. It'll definitely be used. Samurott, however, I think this is a weird case because I think Samurott isn't the worst starter. I think Decidueye is, but so it's physical now. It'll probably have Sword Stance. If it doesn't have Sword Stance, I'll cry. I don't think Sword Stance is actually in the game, but like in the home leagues, it'll probably have it. It lost 5 points in all its bulk for 15 speed. 85 is a really good speed tier, I think. Like in draft, either you get like 3 mons on your mind that hit 85, or you get nothing. And I think having a water type around the speed tier is very good. It's not going to be a very good bulky water. I think regular Samurott is a better bulky water, but Hisuian Samurott will be good. I've wanted a better water dark for a while, but I don't really think Hisuian Samurott is it. I can see this being like 6 or 7, but it's not. I don't think it's better than like Crawdaunt. It's probably not even better than Sharpedo. But I think it'll be very interesting to use. I like its speed tier. I can see it getting used. And Shell Armor is very good in Nuzlocke. Even in draft, Shell Armor is good. Makes it so you can't get crit. You don't have to worry about getting crit. So it's a lot less stressful to run Samurott. The Decidueye is worse. They added to its HP and defense and attack, but they made its special stats worse. They made its speed worse, and it has a way worse typing. Like Grass Fighting, I love Chestnut. I really like the Liligan too, but I think with that speed and like the lack of bulk is just not very good. Honestly, it might actually be pretty bulky because I think Chestnut is also 88 HP. And Chestnut doesn't have a very high speed F stat. I think it's like 70 something, maybe it's like 77, 122 defense or something like that. But I like Chestnut better because it's a better edge quake switch in. So I think overall it's going to be a lot worse than Chestnut. I guess it just depends on its moves. So like 6 or 7. I keep saying 7, but some of these mons are just not that great. And Amorous is very good with Contrary. Most of the genies keep superpower, but like this is like the female one. It might be a little bit different because it doesn't have like the arm thing or the tail thing. It's like wrapped around her neck or something. I don't know what's going on here. 106 speed, 135 special attack, 115 attack. It's going to be a very good mix attacker, but like Fairy Flying is more of a special typing anyways. I don't see it getting Play Rough. I don't even see it getting Moonblast. It gets like Spring type Storm. So it's a 95 and 80% accurate. The additional effects depend on its form, I suppose. I don't know what that really means, so I'm not really gonna get into it. But if it's like superpower contrary, I think this thing will be banned. In all honesty, Therian I think will be pretty good. I think it'll be worse than Lando and Torn, maybe on the same level as Lando. It'll probably be better than Thundurus though. And I like that we have a Therian form that's like, I mean, Lando and Torn are very bulky, but Torn's bulky because of regen, and Lando's bulkier because of Intimidate. This thing just has more natural bulk with the 180. And 74 HP is a little bit worse, but like compared to Torn, it's not too bad. It's still very strong too. It's just very slow. I think it's very good, and I think Overcoat's cool. It's a good Brillium switch in without like Rock move. It gets like Rock Slide or Stone Edge or whatever. But I think it'll be cool. I'd rather use Togekiss, but um, Enamorous Therian will be very good. I guess it just depends on how well Springtide Storm translates. And then there's Dialga and Palkia, and like I don't really want to get into these. These are obviously banned. I don't even know how good they are in Uber. I'm told Palkia is very good. I'm told Dialga's pretty good. Like with Dialga, you're gonna be using like your special tech anyway, so just adding special bulk to it is very good. It has a very similar stats like Giratina now, doesn't it? Yeah, it's very similar to Giratina. Well, this is Giratina Origin. I need to look at real Giratina. This is basically regular Giratina, but like the special tech and the HP are swapped. So I like that actually. It's good abilities too. Palkia is better. These are overall upgrades, but I don't really want to get into them. And this video is like 40 minutes long. Holy crap. Yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed. Sorry to not get into moves too much, but these are just my thoughts. I really want to talk about it. Well, I was in the mood to record a video, and I want to get that out. I don't know when this will get out. Maybe in the next few days, like Tuesday. I don't know. I'm really looking forward to seeing these in draft. I'm really looking forward to playing Legends Arceus. Let me know in the comments what you're thinking about Legends Arceus and if you agree or disagree with any of my points. I do think I have some pretty hot takes. Like I believe I said I thought Overkill was good. I said Bastiodon female is good. I think those are my two hottest takes. And if you, I don't know, if you want to talk about like what these would be like with some of the new moves like Bastiodon with Flip Turn, let me know. Be looking forward to reading all the comments. And thanks for watching.